Is it? We're there. We're there. Okay, here we go.
Come on, y'all, it's time.
Come on, let's go, let's go, let's do it.
Rolling on the road
With the doc,
rolling on the road,
with Dave,
rolling on the road.
with the doc.
100 shades of the versatilities with Dave and Dr. Burton.
All right, that was cool. Yeah. Hey, let's go. That was
All right, put your two good hands together. Yes, I am so excited. If you're watching on GRTV 25, today is July 30th, 2024. Can you believe it? It is Tuesday, July 30th, 2024. Where has the time gone? The summer is almost over, and it's about time for the kids to come back to school, getting ready. Wow, so exciting. And Dave is on assignment on today. So we'll see him on next week. But where's Heidi? No, Dave is not home, but he was there at the office when I left. I just wheeled on down from my office and came on home so that I could entertain. Did I say that right? I did, because my guests today are in the entertainment business. They are the king and queen of comedy. Oh, hey, Dee Dee Shantae is on. She's like, hey, y'all. Hey, boo.
How are you? Thank you so much.
I am so excited. But I do not have bad English because I do hold a doctoral degree. Actually, I have two of them to, if you want to, real talk, I got two. However, the title said, this is funny. And this is short for disability. And I love these guys. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to tell my truth because I want y'all to hear this first. I, Dr. Kimberly Yvonne Barrington, I am called to the least, the last, and the lost, and not the opinionated. Okay. And so on last night, I was a celebrity judge for a drag race pageant. And let me tell you, they had some fierce competition going on last night. And the entertainment was bar none. All right? Or what they say, okay. Or did you pop your lips? Okay. Yep, because the lip gloss is popping on today. Okay. And that Dee Dee Shantae, honey. Okay, did I say honey? Honey. Let me tell you, she was giving it to us on last night. That chick did some flips and bounces that I don't even think I could do when I was 7. And then our queen of comedy, Miss Turbulence Time, she came out with these fabulous gowns, especially the second one, and did hair changes. Oh my Jesus. She was giving it to us as well. Yeah, she was giving it to us. And master comedian Dave Jones had me cracking at my side. Y'all know I just had surgery, so I'm still a little tender. And boy, it was worth the pain of laughing because he had some good jokes for us on last night. He came on through. He came on through on last night. And they are here. Hey, Jessica. So Jessica Tran says, hello. She says, hey, Dr. Kim. Hey, guys. I just love Jessica. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
King and Queen. King and Queen. Can y'all stop smiling for a minute and just talk to the people? See, on the left, we have the king, comedian Dave Jones. On the right, we got the queen, Miss Turbulence Time, Shantae Paul. Tell us how y'all got into comedy as a first of all, individually, and then as a couple.
Well, I'll let Dave go first.
Well, I started doing comedy pretty young. Well, through talent shows and things like that in middle school and high school. And then once I graduated from Central High School, 2005, I decided to go to New Jersey for theater. So I was out in New Jersey for theater, doing comedy clubs in New York. It was easy transit from New Jersey to New York. Um, Once I started getting that, I got polished a little bit. I had great opportunities to do some work with Shaquille O'Neal on the All-Star Comedy Tour, with Apollo Theater in New York, and had a little acting jobs and things like that. Um, I decided to go heavier on my own, you know what I'm saying, paying myself, going with the pay yourself route versus trying to get paid by somebody else. So that's how New World Comedy was born as a company. And then, yeah, it really is really helpful to me to not just make people laugh, but sharing laughs with with people who I normally would not meet on the streets. But when they come to our shows and experience what we have to offer, it's great to see some smiles on faces that normally in the store you would try to, or they would try to avoid. But laughter brings everybody together. I think laughter is a shared emotion that we all love and enjoy having.
Well, the Bible says that laughter is like medicine for the soul. And the title of the show is This Is Funny. So what disability do you have, Dave?
Well, I'm epileptic. I have epilepsy. I was diagnosed with epilepsy though, like in 2017. Um, and through the grace of God and through laughter, I've been able to continue my journey of just not just comedy, but life in general. So I don't take that for granted at all.
Oh wow. Turbulence time.
Yes. um, well, this is my third year of comedy. I met comedian Dave Jones um, on my birthday, November 26, 2021. And during that time in my life, I really didn't have a lot of laughter going on in my life, experiencing different tragedies at the time. Um, a friend that we know of introduced us, and she explained to me that Dave does comedy. And she was like, "You're funny. You should really try it." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So Dave said he would reach out to me, and he did. He actually reached out to me, gave me an opportunity to come on stage and actually just perform for the first time. After the first time I performed, he reached back out to me again shortly afterwards and was just kind of letting me know some points and some tips of some things that I needed to kind of see. And that's when Turbulence Time was actually born. And I want to say 6 months after meeting him, I became his business partner with New World Comedy. He allowed me to begin to come up with themes for the shows and promoting the shows and helping me learn how to touch different stages and my stage presence and different things like that. So I appreciate Dave for giving people an opportunity to be on a platform like that. Him being a seasoned comedian, he gives back by letting other people come on who may not have had a chance to be heard. So I really appreciate that very much.
Well, your name in and of itself is an oxymoron, or diametrically opposed from what it is that you do, turbulence time and comedy. So how did you come up with that name, Turbulence Time?
Well, I remember comedian Dave Jones asked me, what did I want to come on stage to? By my name being Shantae, originally, I thought I was going to use that at first, but then I thought, you know what, it's probably a lot of other comedians with the same name. So I needed to come up with something that was different, that no one heard of, that would stand out. So I'm scared of flying planes and stuff. So as a child, I was scared of that. And so when you're in the sky, you might experience turbulence. It might be a little bit or a lot, but you knew that turbulence was there. And that's me. And so originally it was just going to be turbulence, but then I put the time with it, because when it's time for turbulence, it's time for turbulence. So it's time for me to get on stage, perform, do what I came to do. And that's to make people laugh and remember who I am, you know, for future shows and different things like that. So
all right then, turbulence time.
yes.
So do you have a disability as well?
I have pulmonary edema,
Mm-hmm.
and I've also I am a cancer survivor. I had cervical cancer, but it's been taken care of. But I went through a lot with that process. So I'm thankful for my father and my mother for helping me with that. And then I also ended up having a heart attack before. So I take blood thinners, and I do have to have 2 different kind of inhalers now because I have scar tissue on my lungs. So I have to watch my heart, you know, because of any further problems that could occur. So I do go downtown to the heart center. I am a patient there, and I'm also a patient at Cherry Street Clinic out here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So yes,
Shameless plugs.
the kind of insurance I have, you know, Medicaid, Medicare. Hey, thank you so much for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have to take the pills every day for the blood thinners, and I'm supposed to take 1 inhaler every 12 hours, and then I take the other one, it's supposed to be 3 times a day to help me.
And how does your schedule for both of you affect your disabilities?
Well, thankfully, I just have to take my medications twice a day. So I just set an alarm on my phone. Turbulence has definitely been helpful with making sure I take my medicine. I wasn't so great at it at first. And now that I'm on a roll, and it really has a true, it became a true habit to take my medicine on every time, which has reduced a lot of my seizures or any type of complications that come with my epilepsy.
And me seeing Dave actually taking his medication without, like, because sometimes, you know, when people have to take certain pills every day, that can become like redundant for some. And the fact that he takes his medicine and he still tries to have a positive outlook with it. He carries it with him. He knows already he's got to do this. He still maintains his jokes. He's still trying to come up with new content. He still tries to see the positive of the epilepsy versus saying, okay, well, I have epilepsy, so I can't do this or I can't do that. He still tries to maintain everything he can do in a normal day. And so that's inspiring for me to see, because I'm like, wait a minute now. I know if he can set an alarm and simply do this and try not to complain about having to do this, I need to take my blood thinners. I need to take that seriously. I need to take my medication as far as my inhalers and just go on, because it could be worse. You know, he's had a conversation with me. It's people that's way worse than that. So let's just do what we got to do to maintain health, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It is now 1:15, and we want to say thank you so much for tuning into Rolling on the Road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. Dave is on assignment on today, and our guests are Turbulence Time and comedian Dave Jones with New World Comedy. Today is Tuesday, July 30th. And if you are watching on GRTV 25, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in. And you can see the replay of this show. You can always go on any of the social media outlets, but it's always available on YouTube at 100 Shades of Diversibility. And you can watch it on GRTV 25 on Mondays, 2 p.m., Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m., and Thursdays at 8 o'clock p.m. And our guest Our Dave Jones has long hair, which are braids. I believe they are called dreads, and he's wearing glasses, and he has on a white shirt. And his companion is Turbulence Time, and she has long hair, just as long as his. It's past both of their hair is longer than their shoulders, so it's more than shoulder length. And she has curls in her hair, and she is wearing this beautiful pink top, and they both are Black Americans. And you guys know me, your host. I have on my signature color purple, and I want to say thank you again to Dee Mayhew for Dee's Beads, who, yes, did my earrings that I'm wearing on today, as well as my bracelet and my ring. Thank you so much, Dee. And you guys know that, of course, the lip gloss is the Poppin' Purple with matching glittery purple eyelashes. And today I chose to do an accent color of mint green for my glasses instead of the usual purple. So thank you so much for tuning in. We guys really appreciate for sticking with us, I should say rolling with us for the last 4 years. Now, for both of you, are there, other than yourselves, is there any other connection to the disability world that the comedy helps you with?
Well, I think both of us being parents of autistic children, um, comedy has helped us cope with that a lot. It's a lot of responsibility placed on you, and especially if you don't have a co-parent situation. But anybody with autism child understands some of the difficulties, to be able to still laugh, to be able to still um, have that joy that could have been stolen away, but instead you kept it. We like to magnify those who are going through times like that, and finding, still finding some happiness and some spontaneity in their life that allows them to go ahead and keep it going every day, especially after our shows.
And I also believe that autism in the African American culture is not necessarily talked about enough. A lot of times it can be shame and confusion from the stigma of the child. Children with autism are very special. I feel like they're purposely created for parents that, you know, are going to be uniquely informed to be able to take care of them. Having children with autism has taught me a lot about patience, and I am just so glad I was able to meet Dave, and he actually understands what it's like to have a child with autism and his patience level dealing with autism. Um, because without patience, it really, the child needs repetitiveness, and they need someone that's going to work with them. And I can say for sure, 1000%, he definitely goes above and beyond for his daughter. Um, he's very quiet, patient with her. He talks to her. He tries to get her to understand the things that she needs to really understand. And I commend him for that, being an African American male doing so. I sometimes when I see him with her and I see her responses to him, it reminds me that it is possible for a male, if he takes the time to learn, he can just as well do what a female can do, whether you're African American or not. But it's a lot of African American fathers who are not in the home. And he co-parents very well. And he's just reminded me that even though I don't necessarily have the co-parenting side on my side, it's still possible to get the job done with your children and not feel bad if you don't have it.
Wow. That, whew, where's my tissue? Where's my tissue? Hold on. Just, I forgot to tell people you gotta bring your box of tissue, because Um, that that just touched me right here. That touched me.
Yeah, seeing him do it, and I felt like for a long time, because my daughter's father, is not present in their life, and to see him really do what he does, I'm thinking like, you know what? I can't. I don't even want to sit and complain about the fact they don't have the co-parenting part. I just see him doing what he has to do for her, and it just reminds me that I can go harder for my own daughters as well, and that they didn't ask for that. God blessed them and gave them to us in our lives. So, yeah, I feel he does an amazing job. Shout out to all the men out there that are dealing with different disabilities with their children, whether it be autism, Asperger's, just any type of disability. And thank you so much for not giving up on your children. They need their fathers. They do. They do.
In my line of work, I have found that's been the biggest challenge for mothers, our fathers accepting their children um, when they're different, especially if they've had other children and they didn't have a disability, and then this child is born with a disability. There's a lot of blaming that happens, and the mother is left taking the responsibility. Dave, what was it in you? Uh, First of all, not just because your child had a disability, but as a Black man, because you guys get such a bad rap and about not sticking and staying, or you stick and go. Uh, so I guess let's start with that first. The choice to stay, and then the choice to be involved, especially with the work that it takes. Is your daughter verbal or nonverbal?
She's nonverbal. We try to get her to say certain words. And, she getting there, but she's classified as nonverbal.
How old is she?
7.
Oh, okay. So there's a bunch of hearts and lights have gone up across the screen. So
Thank you so much. He really deserves that. He does as a father.
so the question is about sticking and staying outside of the disability and then within the disability.
Well, I guess it was just positive influencing from my dad. You know, I think that's definitely something that can be passed along. There's a lot of generational curses that's been being um, broken, especially when it comes to especially when it comes to the outlook of how Black men are um, co-parenting or with the willingness of having their children with them. Sometimes it can get conscrewed when the man leaves the woman. They automatically combine that with the man leaving the everything that the woman deals with, including the children. Sometimes you just find yourself in situations to where you no longer um, can deal in that romantic relationship with the mother, but the role as a father is just unbreakable. You can't,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, I think I do want to shout out all the dads who not getting a lot of rep out there because that stigma is definitely being stuck on Black men every day. It's something that a Black father has to deal with almost every day, to be caught with a surprising look or caught with um, surprised a surprise uh, response to a dad just being a father to their children, especially when you're Black. I think it's got way better. I know a lot of great dads who are black, but they never aired the good news. Only the bad news seems to get the attention. So
Well, here we're definitely for the good news.
Yes.
and she's not my only child too. Let me shout out my other children. I got a son named Joshua who actually just had a child, so I'm a grandfather now.
Uh-oh.
And my twin girls, Elise and Alyssa, they'll be 15 this year.
Woo.
Over. So yeah, when you we're talking about especially when a child comes out with autism and your other children don't, how that could be um, not just frustrating, but in some worlds it can be um, questionable about, you know, paternity. You know what I'm saying? A lot of questions come not just from the father, but the father's family about how could this child be autistic when your others aren't. Um, that's definitely something um, when you educate yourself on, you know what I'm saying, when you educate yourself on autism and all of the related cognitive disabilities, you'll start to understand that it can happen to anybody. It runs in both my side and her side of the family, and even then, when the whole
Hmm.
it runs in the family thing can get conscrewed because now y'all both just looking at each other and looking down y'all family tree to just see who has it in order to debate or agree with the outcome of your child.
I can definitely attest to um, I have three daughters. Um, and my daughter Alana, she's 13. My daughter Alantiana is 7, and she'll be 8 this year. And then my daughter Alante is 10. So Alana and Alante have autism. Alantiana did not get autism, and they all three are by the same man. So what I will say is, at first, when our girls were smaller, little babies, the father was all for it. Everything was going good. But then as they began to get a little older and more challenges came with their communication, because they're classified as nonverbal, both girls. Um, my daughter, Alante, is incontinent. She suffered a concussion when she was at school. So that threw more things on top of her diagnosis. So um, she has a seizure condition now because of it. So I think for the father, I think he was just overwhelmed with all the medical challenges that the girls had to face. But when you hear through the grapevine that a father is questioning paternity because, well, how come two of them have it but one don't? So the one that don't have it obviously has to be mine, and the other two can't possibly be mine. So it's hurtful as a mother, and I think it would be hurtful for a father both ways to hear, well, this is not my child because this and this. So you
Mhm.
can't just ignore the child and act like, well, I'll just show love to the ones that can talk and can take care of themselves and do, because the other ones don't understand. The girls don't understand nothing that's going on with any of this. So it's my job as their mother to give them the best quality of life, knowing they don't understand. And so to the fathers out there, if you do have a child on the way or you have a child that's actually here and they're diagnosed with disability, try to work it out if you can with the mother, even if it's just co-parenting, because both parents need a break. Both parents need to research because a child is not going to stay a child forever. They're going to eventually be grown. So we want to make sure that the grown with disability have help and support as well.
So Shayna, Shayna Thomas has joined us from Bel Air, Maryland. She
Hello.
says
Hello, Miss Ella.
she is in Bel Air, Maryland. And then she says she was agreeing with congratulations. Keep doing all that you can do to be a great dad. And then she says, I'm praying for the children.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Uh, we're going to take a break. It's now 30 minutes after the hour. And if you are watching via GRTV 25, today is Tuesday and it is July 30th. Woohoo. And I have with me comedian Dave and Turbulence Time with New Wave Comedy, New World Comedy. And I'm going to take this time to do a quick commercial break and talk about Shayna Thomas is the young lady who came up with the body scrub. It's called Spark Your Body Scrub and Body Butter. And I just added in my essential oil, which is a wonderful, wonderful blend that helps with relaxation and anxiety, depression, pain. And I am so excited to say that comedian Dave and Turbulence Time had an opportunity to experience the body scrub and the body butter that's infused with the oil. Can you please just take a minute to tell our listening audience your experience with that, starting with Dave?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. It's definitely a tool to relax and not just relax, but it also helps with those tense muscles. Even if you got something to do that day, I find myself kind of using it just prior to activity, so it relieves some of the stress of it. I know that stress will be pressed back on certain areas, but to get started, I love it. I love to use it. Definitely, I'm definitely a natural over medical medications type of person. I'm definitely an herbal medicine type of person. So yeah.
Turbulence.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for giving me and Dave an opportunity to use the products. What I will say is it definitely has an intoxicating aroma. It draws you in. And as it's being rubbed into your skin, it kind of feels like you're at a spa in your mind. And you just begin to just let your mind just go. And it's not like a greasy feeling afterwards. It hasn't like done any like itchiness to my skin because I got real sensitive skin, so there was no itchiness to it. It actually makes you kind of go to sleep. And I take some of the oil and I put it on my forehead because I had a really bad migraine the other day, and it
Mhm.
worked against the migraine.
Well, all right now.
Just smelling it, with my hands, putting my hands up to my face like that, and I just, whew, and I was actually calm. I was calm.
Uh, so we got some comments from Shane. So she says, yes, thank you for being a great mother that will provide care for your children and their needs.
Thank you. And thank you so much.
And she says, I do agree. If both parents can co parent with each other, it'll make things a lot easier for both the parents and the kids. Yeah, she's a great mom. Shayna is. She said, wow, awesome. Thank you. And she loved that spy home.
Yes, I highly recommend the product. You don't even have to use a lot of it to achieve its maximum capability. All you gotta do is just take like a little bit, and it just stretches a lot. So yeah.
Yes.
And
I'll take it and I'll go wherever God says let's go. So I just want to say I appreciate we started out with comedy and we were moving into autism, and today's actual show was supposed to be about autism and getting assistance and what was available in the community. This was just Just awesome. What is Shayna? Shayna says, she said, yep, a little bit goes a long way. I want to tell both of you, thank you. I'm grateful for your openness because so many times, especially in our community, uh, we're always told, what happens at home stays at home. Our business don't leave this house. So to be able to talk outside of the house, outside of the home, openly, transparently, and is to be commended. First and foremost, is to be commended. So I commend both of you for being vulnerable and sharing your stories and sharing how doing the comedy, I'm sure, just helps. And Turbulence, what did she say? What did Shayna say?
Please keep on educating others and being great parents. Yes, thank you so much, Shayna. I do have a autism page on Facebook for my daughters. It's called Alana and Alate's Autistic Angels. And basically, it's just to give people information about autism, different tips, and just showcasing your angel. So if you have an autistic child or Asperger's or your grandchild and you want to follow the page, it's on Facebook. And
Okay, tell me again because I'm special. Okay, it is
Alana. So it's ALO
LAO,
NAS
NAS
AND
AND
ALO
ALO
NTE
NTE
Autistic Angels.
AN. All right, here we go. And there it is. Did I get it right?
Yes, thank you so much.
And Shayna says, look at there, just that quick.
Thank you so much. My daughters appreciate it as well as the autism and Asperger angels all over the world.
And there we go. We're going to keep that up so that if you're tuning in or you happen to watch the replay, you'll see that. To go to that page, please like, subscribe, follow, and comment nicely about it. And I don't think that we talk enough about autism because I know there are times where there are some parents I know that don't want to bring their children out in public because of the noises that they may make and or their outburst or when they get upset, they do this right here. And I think it's called stemming when they do that. And so many don't want to bring them out. Now, this is my big question. Do you use some of the things that you experience with them in your comedy? Because I'm sure there has to be days where, okay, that was just dang on funny. I was pissed in the moment or I was upset or, it got kind of crazy. But when I sit back and I think about it, oh my God, that was hilarious.
I'm gonna speak personally for myself. I have not yet introduced jokes as far as with my daughter's autism. I have heard comedians say things while they perform though, and to be honest with you, I don't necessarily find it funny on my side, but I think I was talking to Dave and he was making comments that he wanted to make mention of that with his daughter in the situation, certain things he's been through with her, to bring it to the light. So when I guess I heard him say it in that way, I figured, you know what? Okay, let me not necessarily take offense to the autism part, but sometimes if somebody's joking and they be like, oh yeah, they must have autism. Like when I hear stuff like that, it's not a good thing because it's like this person didn't ask to have autism. You know what I mean? So why is that the first disability you can bring up? That a lot of times they'd be like, "Oh, you're autistic," or "You must be slow." I don't like when people say it like that about a child. You know, she said, "Great idea, Dave. If you want to incorporate that into the company." So yeah, I mean, I think now that being a mom to two autistic girls at the same time, they both have different personalities, different things that they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So now that they're getting older, I could potentially put some of the stuff in. For example, like with my 13-year-old, she's in puberty, but she doesn't talk. But she still has attitude sometimes, and she still displays certain things to me. Like, I want chocolate. She'll just go and take it, eat it, and look at me like you already knew why I did it. And it's funny.
now, see that that would have been one of my first things. So you know what? Let me tell y'all something. Life don't care that you got a disability.
No.
It really don't. Life don't care. And my daughter just turned 13. She's now menstruating. And let me tell you, have you ever seen somebody? First of all, you know how we get, and it's that time of the month. Can you imagine being autistic and nonverbal? Jesus, that's a lot. Man,
When she's over the moment, she runs away. Like, I can tell when she's like done. Like, and she'll give me a look like, if you don't get my siblings away from me, I don't want to be bothered. Like, even though she can't say it, I know that's what she's feeling at the moment. So
right.
it's all about us as the parent trying to figure out what they need and what's going on in here with them. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that a lot of people don't take the time to figure out. They figure, oh well, I don't know what's wrong with them. So you just do a check. Make sure they don't have a fever. Make sure they're not sick. Make sure they're not, something physically happened to them. Then you get to figure out the internal stuff. So it's a lot.
Dave, do we have an extra guest on the show?
Oh yeah, my daughter's here. She's running around right now.
I see her right there.
She's in her own world.
So how did you incorporate some of the things that you've experienced as a parent into your comedy, or you're gonna do it?
I've just really started getting into like personal situations. I'm usually a joke teller, like
Okay.
things like that. I always try to focus on getting on a certain level of funny and a certain level of um, a certain level of recognize, like people being able to recognize me, to start getting deeper into life story goes, because I always felt like when a comic's performing, they want to see if you funny first before you hit them with like a longer, like it could be a long joke. It can be the setup could be longer. Um, but I think people, in my opinion, I think the audience want to make sure you funny first before they decide to take this journey of life with you and how you see, things being funny.
Really? Because I do comedy. I'm going in October down to Florida. I'm going to Tampa and Miami with a group, and we're gonna all do our performances. And well, let me back up first. Maybe how many years ago? It's been quite a few where Gilda's Laugh Fest
Okay.
incorporated the real and funny side of living with a disability. So we had our own show. It was located at the Grand Rapids Art Museum. And when we auditioned, everybody got up and talked about the funny side of their disability or things that were serious in the moment. But when you look back at it, you have to say, oh my gosh, I really have to laugh about that. And so for me, I wouldn't, I don't think any other way other than life situations.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but again, everybody approaches comedy differently. There are some people who they make jokes on what's in the headlines.
Yes.
So I definitely agree that you make the decision on how you want to. You don't have to stay the way you start, as far as the type of comic that you are and what you choose to deal with. You can deal with all of it, or just take one section and say, hey, you know what, I'm just strictly headline news, because that stuff is funny. As serious as things can be in the headlines, you can find a way to make a joke out of anything, really. But for me, it has truly been my life experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what gets me through. And I think that's what really drew me to the two of you. Was,
Okay.
wow, I know your history, I know your personal life, and the fact that you're up there and know you don't talk about what you experience, but that you can find things in life that are funny and make other people laugh. When I know that there are days where I'm sure you come off the stage and it's like, oh, I gotta go home. This was maybe a 15-minute set, and yet I gotta go back home to all of this. Where do you find time to write your comedy, or how does your comedy come about?
I'm gonna say for me, I I don't typically write down my jokes or my topics. I think for me, the type of comedian that I am, I'm still learning to do more of the joke part, like Dave mentioned. I speak more about things I've been through and stuff that I see. I talk
So
about,
you're more observational.
yes, I talk about things that people don't say nothing about, or they would feel some kind of way from hearing it. So I'm gonna talk about stuff that you'd be like, where did that come from? Like, what is that?
Mhm.
It could be a thought, it could be something that happened to me before, or I've seen someone else go through. And so I won't necessarily say their name, but like I'll mention it. You know what I mean? For example, like yesterday, there was a woman, she seen me with my wig or whatever, and she started asking me questions like, are you mixed? Are you Indian? And I'm like,
You talking about your second wig?
that second wig, she asked me,
Yeah.
was I mixed? Now you just see me with red hair, and now you see me with black hair in the same hour. So what kind of question was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what made her do that? So she kept saying, could she touch it and all this and that? And I'll just be thinking, okay, uh, to some it might not mean much, but when you pay for your hair, this my hair. I don't need everybody hands in my hair, you know. So just imagine though, they be want to run their hands through it and grab and do stuff. And she was just like, I just never seen it like that kind of hair. Like, how do you make it curly? And it just was crazy. But that's the kind of stuff I would talk about, you know, versus someone who might say, did you see that person that had that curly wig on? They shouldn't have been wearing that because they look like Bozo the Clown. You know, they'll throw stuff like that in there. She probably bought it from a gas station or a corner store. You know, it's all in how you want to project the joke, like you said, and present it, you know. So I'm more of a storyteller. I'm more of a
Hey,
storyteller.
we
Comedian.
want to say thank you to Artie Franklin for tuning in. Hey, Art, good to see you. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, brother.
They like, hey, brother. Look, Dave, we almost done, Dave. We are. We almost done.
No, I'm having fun.
Uh, so where does your comedy come from? Now, I thought it was really cute. Like last night, he was talking about the type of women that he. I was like, yes, go on with yourself. Uh,
Okay.
where
Well,
does your
yeah, I guess that can be classified as a personal joke. I just embellish. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah?
if there is something I do notice, I'll you know embellish. Richard Pryor once said, "If you look at anything long enough, you can find something funny about it. If you look at anything long enough, you can find may it just be it itself, or what it is used for, or what it could be used for, or anything, all possibilities. If you look at anything long enough, you'll find some humor in it. So
This is so true. Oh my gosh. So do you like to people watch?
people watch a lot.
I like to, roll around in my chair and sit and watch people and then come up with a story of what I think is happening. Do you ever do that when you think about doing jokes or doing your comedy?
Um,
Or one of you?
okay, so what I will say is like I said, I I take what's currently happening, what past happened for me, what I don't want to see happen, what could be happening. I mean, that's just how I kind of, throw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or if it's something that I feel like the public needs to know, like a public service announcement, you know, for example, I'm going through menopause, right? I'm sick of it. I didn't know that it comes with all the perks of downfall, the sweating and the attitude and all this. It's too much. So I talked to the doctor about getting a hysterectomy, and she's still talking about I'm too young. Girl, ain't nobody finna wait until they in their 50s to get no hysterectomy. If y'all don't take this Medicaid card and take this stuff out and give me my prescription, look, I'm ready for my prescription. I'm ready. I'm sick of it. It's over. She was like, you might want to. She's like, you might regret it because it's gonna cause some, issues in your love life. And I was like, there's other things I can use to take care of that. Set me up an appointment so I can get rid of this stuff. She don't want me. They don't want me to get rid of this stuff at the clinic.
I love it. I love
See,
it.
I need to get like you. I need to be where you see how you said that so calm and free. I can't wait till that's me. I'm
Well,
ready.
I still have all of my body parts.
Oh,
I'm just past. I don't even remember. I went from having one to not having one. I never got an opportunity to go through all of that menopause. It was like I was having one, I had a stroke, and it was done.
okay.
So I missed all the other, in between.
And for me, I'm experiencing it. I didn't know for sure that's what it was. I went in, they figured it out. That's what it was. And I want to push mine fast if I can, if you know what I'm saying. I'm telling them, okay, let's just skip all the other bad stuff in between and jump over the hurdle if we can. You know what I mean? They don't want me to do that. They want me to go through each symptom before they do any action. So,
Well, they have their own way of doing things.
right.
But I want to tell the two of you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then again, Dave, any final words?
Yeah, like I always tell people every time I meet them to chase their dreams, they won't chase them. So it's whatever you want to accomplish out there, it's never too late. If you try once and it didn't happen the way you wanted to, don't be afraid to spin the block. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to go once in a while. Like I feel some people, they don't make it to the finish line, so they end up quitting, or they go by an age, some type of age requirement that they put in their head, or let the world put in their head, that you can't be something if you're at a certain age. I don't let those type of things bother me. Age and anything the world, try to throw at you to give you a ceiling. Uh, I don't pay attention to almost none of that. So I just suggest anybody who's chasing a dream to make sure they chase it.
Turbulence time.
Yes. First of all, I just want to thank everyone who's ever been to a New World Comedy production show. Because a lot of the people, have known comedian Dave Jones a long time, supported him from when he was doing comedy, different venues and selling DVDs and other things he was doing. So I also want to say shout out to the comedians that we've worked with, that we're putting on to the shows. Me and Dave have done over 30. We have done over 30 independent 420 friendly comedy shows in the city of Grand Rapids. And we also are doing Grand Rapids Comedy Jam right now at the Ambrosia Theater with our partner comedian James Brown Jr. We appreciate everybody that comes every second Saturday to the Ambrosia Theater and check out our Grand Rapids Comedy Jam shows. We thank all
And
of our
where's that located?
at that's on Lake Drive, 959 Lake Drive,
Okay.
right around the corner from Cherry Street Clinic, right there.
Okay.
So it's a historical building there. And we just thank everybody who comes to our Grand Rapids Comedy Jam shows. We thank all the vendors that have trusted us enough to vendor at our shows. We thank the comedians for taking a chance, coming out, headlining or non-headlining, openers. And if it wasn't for our guests, there wouldn't be no us, because without them, there is no show. So we want to make sure we're doing our shows bigger and better. And we appreciate our repeats. We appreciate our newcomers. We just want everybody to make sure they following the page. New World Comedy, hashtag NWC on Facebook. It's also on Instagram as well.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, we got to scroll the New World Comedy.
Yep.
So let's just type in New World Comedy.
So to the viewers, you see that, please make sure you follow that page, because comedian Dave Jones has worked so hard to make sure that New World Comedy, hashtag NWC, stays alive and stays, dormant as well. But a stamp, a mark in the city of Michigan. It's not a lot of companies that's BIPOC that do what we're doing. And so I appreciate him for just even giving me an opportunity to work with him, to expand, to learn, to see more, to do more. And I just pray that it continues to get bigger and bigger and successful. So, comedy saved my life, and I'm just so thankful for it.
Do the two of you have a show coming up, or where are the two of you going to be next?
Well, we, as a brand New World Comedy, there's a show August 10th, Grand Rapids Comedy Jam, like she just mentioned, at the Ambrosia Theater. So make sure you guys go to either New World Comedy on Facebook or Grand Rapids Comedy Jam. That's what it's called. That's every second Saturday of the month. So that's August 10th. Seeing us live, I think Turbulence has a show coming up.
So yeah, we also get booked independently as well. We support each other, on our bookings and ventures. So if you guys if anyone's interested at all in, some live comedy at an event that you're having coming up, or business party, or just whatever type of event it is, if you look up comedian Dave Jones on Facebook, Instagram, or Turbulence Time, or Shantae Paul, and just let us know. We'll do our best to try to accommodate. We just want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to see, hear, and know about New World Comedy at any cost. So,
and the number is scrolling down at the bottom there. Their names and the number where you can contact them.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to book us too.
Yes.
We affordable right now. So feel free to contact us if we do. Like, if you want something special at a wedding, reception, or family reunion, it ain't always got to be your cousin singing. Y'all can just go ahead and get y'all some comedy in y'all life. I think most audiences, especially at events, they don't expect comedy and they see comedy. They always appreciate the laughs, especially when they were walking in a situation where they didn't think that was going to happen for them.
And remember, New World Comedy is definitely diverse. There's also clean comedy that can happen as well. So it's not just for those who might be wondering, You know, when they think of comedians, they automatically think of like dirty comedy or nasty kind of comedy. It doesn't necessarily always be that way. So yeah, we're capable of clean comedy as well, and we're looking for all opportunities. So we thank everybody for coming on here. We appreciate you, Dr. Kimberly Barrington, for what you do for the community, as well as giving people like us an opportunity to sit on your platform and discuss topics with you and learn and grow.
You're so welcome. Well, join us on tomorrow. Rolling with the Doc is reprising. I am so excited. Uh, Clee Jackson, the president of the NAACP for the Grand Rapids area, will be the guest on tomorrow. We are going to dig deep, get our boots in on the ground with this election coming up. We have an opportunity to vote for our Michigan Senate seat. In our primary coming up with early voting has started on the 27th, and it goes all the way through August 6th. And we have the opportunity, we're down to about 95 days now until we have to elect a president. And I am so thankful and grateful and excited for the new theme music. And you guys are going to get a little bit of it. And the same person who did our music, Cousin Pat out of Atlanta, has done it again.
Okay. Shout out to
You're
the
rolling with
NAACP.
Dr. K. Dr. K. 100% predictability every Wednesday. You're rolling with Dr. K. Oh, Dr. K. 100% predictability every Wednesday.
Yes. So every Wednesday live at 4 p.m. we're going to be here. So again, on Tuesdays and on Wednesdays, 4 p.m. live. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you on tomorrow.
Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.